Hey, what's up everybody? So today on this video I'm going to do some lawn estimating tips and share with you a personal story about one of my nightmare lawns, and it was actually one of my first ones that I got by myself. So let's get into it. So a lot of people on here, and this was me personally when I first started, I would drive by and just glance at the property right from the road, just do a drive-by, and that works sometimes. Like if you know the neighborhood's a nice neighborhood and the yards are about the same in size and everything, that can work. But let me tell you why it doesn't always work, okay? So my very first yard, it was a rental property, and it was a small little area. I knew the area. The houses were really close together, really small yards, but this one was a corner lot. And so I thought I could get a good view of the front and the back just by cruising by. And the front yard is very small. It looked like you could be push mode. And so I thought, okay, really small yard, no big deal. Turned up the street and looked at the backyard. Now the backyard was a little bit bigger, okay? I thought, okay, I'll bring the riding mower in on this, knock it out, shouldn't be more than 30 minutes, right? Didn't look that bad. It looked like it had some little lawn ornaments and stuff like that in there, like a fountain, little things like that, but nothing major. So I thought, okay, no big deal. Anyway, I show up the day to mow the yard because the grass was high. All right, it was pretty high. It hadn't been mowed in like a month because the last guy just quit. And when I show up, the renters there are saying, did they tell you how bad this yard is? Right there, red flag. I was like, no. It shouldn't be too bad. It looks pretty small. And they said, okay, well, there's a few holes in the yard. And I was like, okay, so I'll be on the lookout. Anyway, the front yard was a breeze. No issue whatsoever in the front yard, right? All right, it took me less than maybe 15 minutes. I had to go over it like twice with the push mower. Get to the backyard with the riding mower, right? Oh my God, the amount of holes. I guess these people had a dog or a groundhog problem. I don't know, all right? But there were so many holes that when I took that riding mower down through there, it jarred me so bad that I thought it was gonna fall apart. I thought the wheel was gonna fall apart. I was just gonna damage the deck because the deck was flapping like a bird. It was just like smacking the ground as I went. That's how bad it was. It was terrible. Anyway, finished mowing to the best of my abilities because some of it I couldn't even touch because my mower, it just dipped down so much that my mower wouldn't do it. So I finished it to the best of my ability, and I told that lady, I said, you're going to have to find somebody else because I was not aware of this type of situation. And so that is why you don't always just need to cruise by or just give an estimate over the phone, right? Because sometimes, if you know the neighborhood and you know it's a neighboring property and the one you do, and you've seen the yard and they call you, and you can probably give an estimate over the phone, right? But you can't just give an estimate over the phone if it's in an area you don't typically service, if it's in a different neighborhood that you don't really have any customers in. And even if you do, you really don't need to give an estimate over the phone. You need maybe a general idea, but you still need to go out and look at it. And not only drive by, you need to get out and walk the property. Look for things that are in the yard and this and that. And that way you can tell definitely, what kind of price range you need to be at. Okay, so the next thing I want to share with you is I learned this from Florida Turf Pros. Okay, if you haven't seen that channel, check it out. Guy has massive amount of knowledge and very nice guy. But anyway, what I'm going to start implementing in my business is he had a clause saying, if it's a $40 yard, it's, this is the price, but, kind of like a sight unseen thing. if get there and it's not what described over the phone. Say there's crap everywhere in the yard and it needs a total property cleanup. You know, the grass is really high compared to what they described. You've got stuff all in the yard. That price is subject to change. Okay, and that's what I should have had in the beginning on that 1 yard, because I charged, I don't know, it wasn't much. I think it might have been $40 because I didn't think it would take more than 40 minutes, right? By myself with the condition it was in. I should have had that clause. Because that would have saved me. Would have saved me time, but it also probably would have made me more money, because I would have upcharged that, because that was in need of a total property cleanup. And I still probably wouldn't have continued to mow it, but I would have got it looking a lot better and been more profitable from it. So that clause, you need to have a clause like that, not just on your lawns, but you need to have a clause like that on your landscaping. Any kind of estimate like that, right? You need to have somewhere a little clause worded that, you know, just however you want, that the price can change if it's seem fit, right? So like if you show up to that property and they say, oh, the grass hasn't been cut in a couple weeks, but it's not that bad, and you get there and there's blocks of wood in the yard, there's dog tie-out stakes, there's toys everywhere in the yard, there's overgrown vines along the fence row that reaching out into the yard that you're going to potentially run over with your mower and lock it up and all that. You know, you need to have something in there that says the price that you gave them over the phone or the internet or whatever can change, you know, based on the situation. And that way the customer knows, and it's not a shock to them. Like, you're not just calling them up and saying, hey, I can't do it for 40. It's going to have to be this. And they're going to be like, well, why not? You already told me this. If you have that clause in there, they're going to have a better understanding most of the time. You know, some people are just, you know, they're going to be an asshole about it. But a lot of times with that clause, it's going to save you, and they're going to understand more, okay? Because they're going to realize that you did have that in there. But yes, that's really what I wanted to share with you today. Not a long video, but very important, because I suffered with that at the beginning, and it sucked. It sucked bad. That yard was a horror story, all right? It shouldn't have been that way, but it was. You would have never thought that just looking at it. So that's why I want to share this with you guys. I hope that really helped. Anything that I find helpful and that I'm going to implement into my business to make my life easier, I try and share it with you guys so it makes y'all's life easier, because I don't want y'all to struggle like I have and other people, right? I want y'all to just be struggle-free as much as possible, you know? So if you like what you're seeing, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, comment. I love to hear from you. I try and respond to everybody I can. And thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, peace.